Before you can transform your body and your health, you must transform your mindset and your lifestyle. That is the process of playing the long game. You see, if you've been frustrated, if you've been doing everything right but questioning why results feel slow, if part of you is really tired of starting over, chasing motivation, or feeling like you're always behind. Sounds familiar? I want you to listen up, because you see, you're not failing. You're learning how to play the long game. And once you stop chasing fast results and start building a life you can actually live, see, everything changes. So let's talk about that today. Welcome back to an episode of Mindset and Motivation, or my Monday Motivation, here every week. Coach Del here, Dr. Del Millers. I hope you guys are doing great. I know that these weekly conversations have been very helpful for you, so thanks for the feedback. Keep them coming. Every week I hear from many of you that, hey, sounds like you were talking just to me. And guess what? I was talking just to you, right? So today we're talking about one of the most important mindset shifts you will ever make on your health journey. This is playing the long game. And this, I think, is around chapter 8 in my book, Mindset and Motivation for Weight Loss. Incidentally, that book is available now at barnesandnoble.com, So pick up a copy at barnesandnoble.com. I don't know what's going on with Amazon. They're playing games with me, but the book is available at barnesandnoble.com and soon elsewhere. The audiobook, of course, is available at Audible. So audible.com, you can sign up for a free account and get lots of free ebooks. Not promoting them, I'm just promoting my ebook here. That's where it's available right now. Later on, it should be available at other places as well. But today we're talking about playing the long game, right? And it's not just for weight loss. It's not just for fitness. It's for your identity, your lifestyle, your energy, and your long-term health. We're into the long term here because, you see, real transformation doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency over time. How many times have I told you that success is nothing more than consistency over time? And see, here's the reason why most people fail. Most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they expect short-term efforts to produce long-term change, so they quit too early, right? They sprint when the journey requires pacing. They chase urgency instead of alignment. They measure progress too early and then decide that the whole bloody thing isn't working. But you see, here's the thing. If you judge your progress too soon, you will always underestimate what's working underneath the surface. You can never tell what's working underneath the surface. And I like to use the analogy of a little bamboo plant. A little bamboo plant can remain about, 1 foot for like 6 months, and nothing happens. And then within 90 days, it can just shoot up 90 feet in the air. Now, I take that back. It's not 6 months. I mean, it can just remain there, and it seems like nothing is happening for years, actually. I remember planting bamboo in my backyard, and it seems like nothing is happening. And then all of a sudden, over a few months, boom, it just shoots right up. Why? Because bamboo is notorious for developing very sophisticated rooting system, right? That is what allows them to grow. That is what allows them to bend and not break, right? Notice in deep hurricanes and bad weather, bad winds, bamboo just bends. It bends and bends, but it doesn't break. Why? It's got the internal support. It's got the rooting system that supports it. And that's what you need to learn to develop. You need to learn to develop your rooting system that allows you to bend in bad times instead of breaking. You need to learn how to bend and not break. And the way you're going to do that is by playing the long game. You see, playing the long game means you stop asking, how fast can I fix this? How fast can I lose weight? You start asking, how do I live? It means choosing habits you can repeat, not endure, right? Making decisions your future self will thank you for. Valuing momentum over perfection. Building something sustainable instead of impressive. Losing 20 pounds in a month. Impressive, but not sustainable. You see, long game thinkers don't rush results. They trust the process. And that's what I'm asking you to do, is to trust the process. Because before you can achieve transformation, you must transform your mindset. You must transform your lifestyle. Those are non-negotiables. You see, your real transformation, here's the real transformation. Here's where that happens. You see, short-term thinkers, they like to say, I'll be disciplined until I get the result. Long-term thinkers, when you're playing the long game, your mindset is, this is who I am. This is the person I'm becoming, right? You don't rely on motivation. You rely on identity. You don't ask, do I feel like doing this today? Or you may ask that. But more often, you ask, what does someone who takes care of themselves do, especially on the bad days? Especially when they don't feel like it. Like I've asked you to ask yourself often, to ask yourself, what would my future self do? You see, that's the question. So even when you ask yourself, even when you tell yourself, I don't feel like doing this today, you go ahead and you do it anyway. Why? Because we don't do things based on how we feel. Feeling has nothing at all to do with it. We do things based on who we're becoming. We do the things we do daily based on that person we're becoming. That is long game thinking. And when you play the long game, your lifestyle stops feeling like punishment, guys. I mean, this is what you understand. Your lifestyle stops feeling like punishment, right? You're not exercising anymore. You have a physical practice. There's a difference. When you're just in it for short-term results, oh, I got to exercise because I know that's what I need to do to lose weight. I got to do this, I got to do that. And that feels like punishment, and that is not sustainable, right? So you stop trying to be perfect and start being consistent. You build meals that stabilize your energy, movement that supports your body, sleep that restores you, routines that reduce stress instead of adding pressure, and suddenly healthy choices aren't forced. They're normal. They're who you are. They become your lifestyle. Over time, those routines become your rituals. This is what it means to play the long game. And you see, your body is intelligent, incredibly intelligent, as a matter of fact. It doesn't respond well to chaos, extremes, or constant stress. It responds to safety, predictability, and trust. And when you play the long game, your stress hormones, well, they go way down. Your inflammation begins to calm down. Your blood sugar stabilizes. Your digestion improves. Fat loss becomes allowed, not forced. Why? Because you have established the rooting system. You have established internal equilibrium that allows the results to happen naturally. You see, consistency tells your body you're safe now. So you can burn fat. You can heal. You can do the things that needs to be done. And that is where real change happens, guys. That is where progress comes from. Right? So let's be honest. The long game isn't flashy. It's downright boring. It's balanced meals on random Tuesdays, short walks on busy days, drinking water when no one's watching, showing up even when motivation is low. That is the power of the long game. It isn't flashy. It is boring. It is being okay with doing the boring thing. But here's the truth most people miss. Boring habits compound into extraordinary results. Boring habits compound into extraordinary results. Not overnight, but inevitably. They compound into extraordinary results. Why? Because consistency over time is what leads to your success. So when you play the long game, you stop labeling everything as failure. You don't panic after one day off. You don't spiral after a setback. You don't start over every Monday. You understand this is a process, not a pass or fail test. And that alone keeps you in the game long enough to win. Long enough to win. That keeps you in the game. That keeps you moving forward, keeps you consistent long enough to get the results you're looking for. This is the process. This is playing the long game in real life. It doesn't mean perfection. It means adjusting instead of quitting. Getting back on track without punishment, staying engaged through busy seasons, progressing through life, not around it. You don't fall off the path. You pause, you recalibrate, and you continue. That is what it means to play the long game. So if you take nothing else from this episode, take this question. What would the healthiest version of me do most of the time? What would the healthiest version of me do most of the time? Not every time, not perfectly. We're not into perfection. Most of the time. That mindset removes pressure and creates progress because remember, 80% is good enough. I ask you, where are you with your meals? And like 8 out of 10. If you're an 8, you're doing great. Perfection isn't necessary. So you don't have to be great every day. You just have to learn to keep moving forward. You have to learn how to recalibrate. You have to learn how to get up when you fall down. That is the process of moving forward. That is the process of playing the long game. So I want to end with this commitment. Say it with me. Write it down. I am no longer chasing fast results. I am building a strong, healthy, grounded life. I play the long game, and my results are inevitable. I am inevitable. I am no longer chasing fast results. I am building a strong, healthy, grounded life. I play the long game, and my results are inevitable. You see, you don't need more intensity. You need patience, direction, and trust. You need patience, direction, and trust, because the people who win long-term aren't the most extreme. They're the ones who stayed consistent when it stopped being exciting. And that is what I want you to understand. This is a long game journey. And when you stay consistent when things stop being exciting, that is how you win. So just remember, that is the process. You're not behind. You're building something that lasts. So stay in the game, because your future self is counting on you. That future vision you have of yourself, that person you are becoming is counting on you. That life that you yearn for, the body you yearn for, the health that you yearn for, it is there for you. But you must stay consistent long enough to get there. You must learn to play the long game. Transform your mindset, transform your lifestyle, and then you will transform your body and your health. Hope this has been helpful.